This is your Weather Extreme video for Sunday, November the 2nd, a rather chilly November the 2nd. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Thanks for tuning in. Before we get to the cold air across central Alabama, here's a look at a summary of some of the snowfall in the Appalachians through 3 p.m. yesterday afternoon. Some of these are very respectable values, and many of these at elevations above about 3,000 feet or so. So that 22 inches up there at 5 southeast of Gatlinburg, Tennessee, I think has set a new record up there. But respectable snow values as we start the fall season. Winter isn't even here yet. On the surface map this morning, surface high pressure is settling in, and that has allowed winds to drop back, and we have widespread frost across much of central Alabama, central and north Alabama, with temperatures generally at and slightly below the freezing mark. Our observant Vic Bell up in Black Creek reported 22, and I know I had 28 here. In the upper atmosphere, the trough has moved off the east coast, and we're getting a nice nor'easter storm up over New England that is producing some problems up that way. You can see the cold air on the temperature map shortly after 5 or before, just before 6 a.m. with lots of freezing temperatures down through the Ohio and Tennessee river valleys. Across central Alabama, many locations this morning reporting around 30 degrees, and once again, fairly good widespread frost across the area. Freeze and frost advisories, all the areas in dark are in effect for this morning, and for some of those areas over in the Carolinas for tomorrow morning. QPF-wise, the next shot of rain appears to be likely for Wednesday afternoon and into Thursday. Looks like the rain should be over before we get to the weekend. Storm Prediction Center is not reporting any or not forecasting any organized severe thunderstorms for day one. Looking at the tropics, the Atlantic Basin is quiet with no areas of any interest going on. And in the Pacific, we have Tropical Storm Vance, and Vance is forecast to become a hurricane, recurve towards Mexico, but then dissipate quickly as it moves near the coast on Wednesday and Thursday. All right, let's get to the 06Z GFS model run, and there's our surface high. We'll be sliding off to the east today. That will allow us to warm up nicely. In the upper atmosphere, the upper trough continues to move out into the Atlantic, but producing a pretty good nor'easter up there in New England. That trough moves off, and the upper ridge comes over us on Monday, and on Tuesday we see the upper ridge along the east coast as we watch the next system diving into the Central Plains states. That system will bring a cold front Tuesday into the Central Plains states, but I don't think that front actually gets here until Wednesday. We see that it's kind of one of these things where one trough moves into southeast Canada, but the second trough digs in, so that keeps the front from moving into the area until Wednesday afternoon, most likely. So it looks like the best chance for showers is going to come Wednesday afternoon and into the evening hours and into the early hours of Thursday morning. Looks like the instability will be somewhat limited, so not sure that we'll really hear much in the way of thunder. That trough digs in nicely, so it's going to produce another shot of relatively cold air, as we see from the thickness values diving into the southern Arkansas area. As you see the 540 thickness line diving down past Memphis on Thursday. So Thursday could be one of those days, depending on the exact timing of the front, could be one of those days where we see the temperatures actually falling during the day. So it could be one of those rather brisk days with temperatures falling through the 60s. The trough moves by on Friday, so that should allow us to dry out, but we do expect to see some wraparound moisture. Don't think we'll see any precipitation, although we might see a few sprinkles, but looks like up around the Appalachians, once again, they could be expecting some snow once again. And then by Saturday, we see another trough moving through the flow, but this one should be coming through dry for us, as it has a little bit of moisture with it across the Ohio River Valley. And then by Sunday, we're on the west side of the trough, so we will be rather cool, not especially cold, as you see the 540 thickness line up into eastern Kentucky and not digging down into the area. Looking out into Voodoo country, yesterday the GFS was somewhat bullish on kind of almost a little more of a ridging pattern across the southern tier of the U.S., but that has changed now. Of course, you know how voodoo is. It changes quite quickly sometimes. But there's a look at the pattern on the 14th of November, and that's got a bit of a stormy and coolish look to it, as we see a fairly substantial trough in the central plain states. And then as we get out to the end of the period, around the 17th of November, the GFS is maintaining this rather cool look with the troughiness over the eastern half of the country. Well, that'll do it for the Weather Xtreme video for this Sunday morning. James Spann will have the next edition first thing on Monday. In the meantime, stay tuned to the blog for notes on the current weather situation. I'm meteorologist Brian Peters. Have a great day and Godspeed.